And today we're going to take out about 5 minutes to break down two major takeaways from the single success experience that you will get by attending, whether you show up in person or whether you tune in online. So stay tuned because it's going to be dynamic. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited. People are the buzz is real. About the single success experience that's going to be happening on May the 30th. You can attend online or you can come to Orlando, Florida. The next guest I'm going to have on is going to be my girl Kasha B, who is handling all of the travel and room block space. So we're going to talk about that when she gets here, but it's just gonna be real dynamic, and I've had some people ask, "You know what? You should go ahead and tell people what they are going to get from the single success experience." I said, "I'll jump on real quick and talk about a couple of takeaways." And so, two major takeaways that you're gonna get when you attend the single success experience is, one, you are going to learn how to instantly stop repeating unhealthy dating patterns. We're going to show and expose what that looks like. And secondly, you are actually going to gain some clarity on who to choose and why you're actually choosing that particular person. Because it's very important and it's not all the surface stuff of why. I learned that the hard way. And we're that's going to be some of the things we're going to be sharing. But the first thing you're gonna end up getting when you get ready to take away is you're gonna stop repeating unhealthy patterns. So you're gonna learn how to identify these patterns that you keep repeating in the relationships and why. A lot of it is really tied to how we're wired, because we like to operate in our strengths, right? And so, because we like to operate in our strengths, we tend to pick these patterns that really accents our strengths, but sometimes it's not healthy for us in relationships. And when we can identify what things will emotionally trigger our strengths or not pair well with our strengths or not train well with our strengths, that's going to open up the door to decision making habits, and it's going to expose how they make the poor choices because we tend to love in our strengths, talk in our strengths, but that's not necessarily a good thing, especially if that's not what the other person values. So we're going to break that down, and then we're going to look at cycles where we're going to be replacing the cycles with intentional behavior selection and understand the why behind selecting that behavior. And sometimes you're going to have to train for to be successful in relationships. I mean, where do you actually get your training from? Well, you don't go to college for relationships. You didn't go to high school for relationships. You didn't get your master's in relationships. You didn't get your doctorates in relationships. We train for everything else but how to have a successful relationship, how to pick the right person, why we're picking that person. And so we're going to come away with some roadmaps and some blueprints and some tools at the single success experience on May the 30th. And the second reason, uh, the thing that we're going to get out of the conference is we're going to gain clarity on who you choose and why you should choose that particular person. When you understand why you choosing something, you can prepare for it, you can train for it, you can prepare and be ready to enjoy the good times. And then you could be prepared for when the storms come because you'll know what storms is going to come, what they're going to look like, and what to do to work with it. And when you partner with someone who's going the same direction that you're going, look, it's a beautiful thing. I've totally experienced it, and I'm excited to share my portion at the single success experience with you. Definitely, what makes someone compatible, it goes beyond the surface of attraction. So I've heard this thing where some people say, "Oh, I want a person who makes, I want a guy who makes six figures, or I want a girl that brings a certain level of peace and softness to her." Well, a lot of times, underneath personality temperaments lies a certain level of softness. Certain personality temperaments, whether you're a female or a male, you're never going to be soft because you are designed to be the tip of the arrow and the first one through the door. Uh, Getting six figures, that's just looking at the outcome. You need to look at the person who created the six figures because money comes and goes, and sometimes people go bankrupt, sometimes people make bad deals. If you take a look at the percentage of athletes that go bankrupt in 3 to 5 years after making millions of dollars, that is all a result of their personality temperament that's never been trained, or they don't understand how they're wired and they keep operating in their strengths when they really need to learn how to partner with their blind spots. And in order to partner with someone who can cover your blind spots, that's going to require training. It's not a natural fit. It doesn't go well together. You do have to train, but you're going to get the best outcome ever. And then you'll be able to build these clear standards based on values, lifestyle, and long term vision. You're going to come away with that. We have some dynamic speakers and trainers that's going to come in. So I love tonight's conversations, but this is not that. And I love speed dating type of situations. Those are great, but this isn't that. We're actually going to be training to be successful and sustain long-term relationships. And a part of that is understanding how to evaluate what a person's wiring is and the potential for success and the potential for failure with that temperament. And then you train on things you need to do to be successful with the strengths and train on things you need to do to cover the person's blind spots. That's where the work and the magic all happens. And it's going to be going down May the 30th here in Orlando, Florida, and virtually online too. Look, stay tuned on my next one. I'm going to talk about two more takeaways that people are going to get from the single success experience. I'm super excited. The buzz is in the air. I just can't wait to share. So, look, continue to follow, continue to watch us, purchase your tickets online because it'll be the best money you've ever spent. And with that, y'all, hey,